Alright, so I just got back from Europe last night, rode my bicycle home from the airport at around 9:30. The whole way crying on the inside, missing the actual good infrastructure that I was experiencing in Europe. But nevertheless, it's time to kind of take everything off the bike and just give a rundown of everything it took to hang out in Europe for 3 weeks and ride 1,200 miles and go to 2 conferences for work. So, this bicycle. Woo! Built it earlier in the year. It is a Carbonda CFR 505 frame. Carbonda being sort of a no-name, open mold Chinese carbon frame manufacturer. It's got, you know, your typical bikepacking mounts on the top tube, additional ones on the down tube, forks, etc. NV 4.5 AR wheels with the stickers peeled off. Hutchinson Sector 28 tires run tubeless on these carbon wheels. I bought the wheels right before the trip, basically because I was doing a couple of really long flat days and figured it would save some time, and I had wanted to upgrade wheels for a while, so I just did it. 40 tooth chainring on the front, Quark carbon power meter, Shimano XDR pedals, 1042 cassette on the back, SRAM Force 1 group, hydraulic discs. So in terms of carrying gear, I want it to stay really, really light. Just have a little front rack here. I think it's called like a Rado Works or something like that. Front rack, little handlebar bag, which is the Roadrunner Middle Earth Jammer. 2 of these little feed bag things, also Roadrunner, made out of the same fabric. So I typically have, like, in the left one, some fruity candy or gels, and in the right one, maybe more chocolatey stuff and bars. I actually got some European bars left in here. Energetica. Garmin Edge 820, was using that for navigation. The second half of the trip, the first half I was using Google Maps, but then it gave me a really bad day. This is fucking bullshit. So I switched back. I made some routes using Komoot, and then put those routes on the Garmin and put OpenStreetMaps on the Garmin, and that was going to be my plan for the whole time, but getting it at Amsterdam was such a pain that I switched to Google Maps in a hurry, since that was my first day and I'd never really used that setup before. I wasn't used to it. But yeah, it kind of screwed me over a couple times later on in the trip, so I switched back and got used to the Garmin. And it actually worked out pretty well. I mean, if you get lost, you just can't let it reroute because it has about the same computing power as like a graphing calculator from 20 years ago. Brought my big heavy ABUS lock, little case for which screws into the bottle cage mounts down here, which makes it kind of nice and compact. The case has been fatigued and cracked a bunch of times over here, so I had used a volet strap to keep it from wobbling around. Didn't really need this lock. It was a bit of a mistake bringing it. I should have brought something lighter because my bike was typically in a secure place at night, and I didn't really leave it anywhere out of sight for very long because, you know, you can't do that anyway with any lock. If you actually care about your bike, you can't leave it out overnight or anything. So yeah, hauling that thing up all the mountains kind of sucked. Let's see, just 2 bottles. So that means I had to stop a couple times during the day. Saigo light, hot shot, rear light, didn't use it that much, only at night, and if I was going through maybe some tunnels, or quite a few tunnels I went through in Spain. Specialized Phenom Comp saddle, which I've used for a long time actually. And this little seat pack, which is also made by Roadrunner. Got a multi-tool, a little chain tool, tire boots, 1 spare tube, spare tire valve, zip ties, and a tire plug kit. Let's see, in the front of the Roadrunner bag here, had a big battery pack. Has about 6 cell phone chargers in it. That's important to have when you're using your phone for navigation and like keeping the screen on a lot, but I found that I really didn't need that when I was using the Garmin. I could have brought a lighter one, which I should have. Got a little tiny Leatherman multi-tool. Basically use this for the pliers it has in it, a file for filing down my nails, the scissors for cutting zip ties to assemble the thing, electrical tape, didn't need it but might as well have it, my little phone mount that I made. Basically it's a Google Pixel case that I bought this little plastic piece for and attached it with some adhesive and a couple screws, so it fits right into the Garmin mount, so you can use it just like a cycling GPS computer. Had some headphones just in case. I didn't ever really use them on the road. Used them in maybe once in a hotel. Alright, so let's unpack this bag. Oh, one important thing to note about the bag is that I got rid of the straps that came with the Roadrunner bag, and I actually found this piece of like perfectly curved foam on the side of the road. Taped this onto the bag and got some voile straps to make it really easy to attach the bag and take it on and off, because I was taking it on and off every now and again. Alright, bag's off. Let's see what's in it. First of all, here's that piece of foam that I mentioned. Really pretty convenient. Perfect thickness. Spaces it away from the bars so you can get your hands in here and actually grab the tops. So firstly, the casual clothes I brought that I wore to, I was in a conference. These are the clothes that I wore on the plane actually as well. So Arc'teryx, I think that's how you pronounce it, commuter pants. They're pretty light, somewhat water resistant, look relatively professional. Let's see, there's one t-shirt, kind of like a gray undershirt that looks reasonably okay for going out with. Merino wool boxer briefs, wool being nice because it's resistant to getting smelly. I was trying to bring as few clothes as possible. Some wool socks, fake down jacket, puffy jacket for when it was cold, because it was a little cold at night. McMaster bag that I was keeping stuff in, like little tiny screws. The socks that I was using for riding every day, those are like synthetic cycling socks. Ended up buying some chain lube in Paris because there are a few really rainy days that started making my chain sound like shit. Toiletries stuff, cut down toothbrush to be extra cool bikepackery, contact solution and stuff, some anti-chafe stuff I ran out of, band-aids just in case. Had some toothpaste too, but I ran out. Another voile strap, basically mainly brought that in order to put the thing, like strap everything together to put it in the cardboard box for flying. Shoulder strap to clip onto this bag for carrying it around the airport. Zip tie there. Jersey. Only brought one jersey. Second pair of merino wool boxer briefs. Cycling bibs. Only one pair of those as well. Washed every day. Second plain t-shirt type thing. I brought two of those. 2 pairs of boxer briefs. 2 pairs of wool socks. A sort of casual button-down shirt. I bought this actually at the second conference because it was 3 days long and I didn't want to look like a goofball wearing the same shirt 3 days in a row. You know, people would totally just make fun of me. Sunglasses, rain jacket / cape thing because it did rain. Arm warmers because it did get into probably the 40s Fahrenheit. Actually at the top of the Tourmalet it was down in the 30s. Second casual button-down-ish shirt. Well, it's really a button-down shirt. Leg warmers, only used those once. As I mentioned on the Tourmalet, it was cold. Little waterproof phone case. I was keeping a piece of paper in there the whole time, just with all the hotels I had booked and all the directions that I kind of, everywhere where I was going, just in case any of my electronics died. Second pair of wool socks for wearing off the bike. Basically 2 pairs of everything in terms of like underwear, 1 pair of pants, another spare tube, really lightweight one because I knew I probably wasn't going to need it, and I didn't, so that was good. Floss, a little cloth for wiping off glasses. Shoe covers, definitely needed these one day when it was raining like crazy. These are Velo toes. They're basically just a sheet of rubber that go over your feet, and I like that. Ibuprofen, pair of gloves, not very heavy gloves. These were just barely adequate for the 30-degree weather. Only needed them once. Oh, there's another zip tie. More ibuprofen because I ran out when I was there. That's French ibuprofen. European USB charger. Bought this in Paris as well to try to fix my goofy secondary Garmin mount, which I'll talk about in a second. But that didn't work. spare tire plugs, cycling cap for when it gets really sunny. It's nice to be able to flip this guy down. Charging cable, mini USB charging cable, actually, for the rear light. Okay, so what else do we got in the front of the bag? Other charging cables for other stuff. Little floss picks. Dude, you gotta floss every day, man. Micro USB type B, I believe. Or just regular micro USB cable. Chapstick, because your lips will get dry. They'll probably get burned in the sun. Okay, that's everything in the bag. Let's take a look at what was mounted underneath. Had a little headlight mount. This little sucker I made to bolt on to rack mounts, so you can strap on any regular little headlight. GoPro Hero 7 black. Built this other little mount here to mount a regular 1/4-20 stud. Rear view mirror right over there. Sprint Tech, I think, is the company that makes those. I put them on all my bikes. I like them. It's nice to have a rear view mirror. See what's going on just in case. Oh, the shoes. Let's see. These are Giro somethings. Casual shoes. I needed something I didn't want to bring 2 pairs of shoes because of the weight and stuff. So they're basically casual shoes that have SPD cleats in them. I think maybe they're called the Rumble. Giro Rumble. But yeah, I was wearing these to the conference and wearing them biking every day. And that worked well. So as far as stuff I didn't bring that I kind of was thinking about bringing, GoPro chest mount. I don't think that really would have been all that comfortable to be wearing around. I did buy a little bell. This probably would have been helpful to have anytime you're sharing a path with pedestrians. I bought an A-flat harmonica because that's the key of the next song I'm going to be working on. Didn't bring it just because I was thinking, you know what, I'm not really going to have time to screw with this. I thought I was going to be like maybe writing some melodies or something or whatever, working on the song, trying to multitask while I'm out there, but I don't know, I wrote some lyrics, that's about it. Secondary pair of cycling socks. Didn't really need them. This is actually something I wish I did bring. It's like a Gore-Tex windbreaker kind of thing. It's not a rain jacket, and you can zip the sleeves off, so it becomes kind of like a vest, and has pockets in the back. I was using the rain jacket for kind of a windbreaker as well, but it's not breathable at all, which kind of sucks, so you get really sweaty. But I didn't bring it ultimately because I didn't feel like, carrying around the extra weight for something I would only use for a few minutes. But I probably should have brought that. And ditched the lock and the heavy battery pack. But what are you gonna do? So that's that. That's the stuff I needed for all that time biking around in Europe. It was awesome. It was fun. It hurt.